What's up, dude?
Not much, man. What's happening?
Oh, just trying to keep track of a few athletes at Williamsburg, at Rev 3 Williamsburg.
Yeah,
everybody's off the bike, and we'll see what the run yields.
Yeah, good news so far.
Good news so far. Everybody's done, and both of them are coming to camp, so nice little back-to-back weekends for them, and with racing today, and then camp next weekend, and then same with some athletes yesterday at Muncie that did awesome. So super busy weekend. I had for six 70.3 racers and an Olympic racer. So lots of busyness and lots of anxiety for old coach.
Well, I mean, today we're off to a good start. Yesterday, the C26 triathlon team had a great showing up at Muncie.
Oh, a stellar showing up at Muncie.
Yeah.
Everybody did awesome. Joanne Langton crushed it, did awesome. Low 520s. Corey Miles, first 70.3, crushed it as well, which is always a super awesome accomplishment. Stephanie Cinders also did just incredibly well. Coming off a couple rough weeks, and then Jamie Lopez, probably the highlight, with like a 55-minute PR from his previous year.
Wow, yeah, lots of
insane. I mean, it was he had crazy improvement. Like 17 minutes off the swim.
17 minutes off the swim.
From a 57 to a 40.
Oh, Jesus, dude. I mean, I got to say, I got to throw you a little bit of props here, because that's kind of what happened when you started training me, too, if you remember back to my Olympic improvement in the swim, first of all, yeah.
It was pretty massive. It's funny because, like, swimming is one of those things where, yes, it's really technical, yes, it's kind of hard to understand, and this is going from like a 57-minute swim to a 40-minute swim, just with different workouts. We haven't even done his coach's eye swim analysis yet. He sent me his swim video earlier this week, and I wasn't going to change it or have him think about anything differently for race week, because it would just cause too much complications. But now that I've got a hold of it, I mean, he's probably going to go from like a 57. He's going to go, in my opinion, from like a 57-minute half Ironman swimmer to about a 1:15 ish Ironman swimmer at Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not at Wisconsin. At Wisconsin?
Yeah, he's doing Wisconsin this year.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so he's going to go from doing 57 and a 70.3 to I'm predicting about a 1:15-ish in Madison by the time I break down his swim stroke, give him back that analysis, because everybody has seen some just insane results from that, thankfully. He rocked it 17 minutes in the swim, and then it was only a 3-minute PR on the bike, but I know it was a lot windier, like that. I'd talked to a lot of people, but what you see in those 3 minutes is increased fitness and endurance, but his bike improvement wasn't seen on the bike. It was seen in his 34-minute improvement on the run.
Yeah,
34 minutes. Yeah, on the run. Went from a 2:32 last year run split to a sub 2 hours this year. And so it showed a lot of improvement on his part, and then a lot of patience, which is 100% him. Doesn't matter how fit you are, how fast you want to go, or how well you've prepared. If you aren't smart and you aren't patient and you don't want to execute, you will always fall apart. And he executed just to the T, perfect. And that's why he went from a 6:30. 2 or 1 last year to a 5:36 this year.
Those are some massive gains now. If anybody's out there listening and is curious about that swim part, especially right now, because you're doing a lot of swim analysis that can be done online, and it's really cool, and we've got examples of it in our closed Crushing Iron Facebook group if you want to join and come in there. And check it out, because Coach does a voiceover and kind of shows, he can telestrate sort of your arm and your body position and things like that. So C26coach@gmail.com if you want to inquire about improving your
inquiries and what we're doing, and it's incredibly affordable, and I get it back to you usually within 48, maximum 72 hours, and then also you have, if you like, you can get access to every other person's videos as well, which you would probably think isn't super helpful because it's not you. But what I found in the past and the clinics I've done, the people I've dealt with, and just videos in general, is the more people you can watch swim, the more you're able to identify within yourself. Yeah. And if you're able to translate that into making you a better stroke, it's incredibly beneficial. And every time I do analysis, it's different. I point on different things, I highlight a different way, I explain it in a different version, and so something will click. And swimming is one of those things where you just need it to click. And I mean, I've had the past few weeks, I've had people who have dropped insane amount of times. Angela Peterson was my testimonial from last week, and she went from doing like a 4+ minute 200 to a 337 in just a week after one analysis. Yeah. And so it is when in terms of purchasing speed, when it comes to triathlon, which is something everybody loves to do with $300 aero helmets that they set up and don't ride right in, to $2,000 wheels and $10,000 bikes and $700 wetsuits and $200 running shoes, it's between $50 to $75 for this, and you can see improvement that. And I always tell people this, and we've talked about this in previous podcasts, is I always say, improvement in the swim, you should think of as bank time on the run. So think about it in terms of a guy like Jamie, who just swam a 17-minute PR at Muncie. He ended up averaging, on the way out, 8.5-minute miles. So he basically took off 2 miles worth of run time and a half. So basically think of like getting to transition after your swim and already being 2 miles ahead. Yeah. Of where you were time-wise, and then multiply that once you get to a full. It's better all around. It helps you, and we talked about it on a ton of our How to Not Suck at Swimming podcasts 1 and 2, and how to succeed in open water, and there's just so many ways you can do it, and it's always boggled my mind. I guess that's why I'm like, I do love it. I got a text from a guy who's analysis said, and he was like, man, I can really tell how passionate and how much you really love doing it. It shows. And I was like, man, it was from a guy I work with named Mike Sheets, who is going to be tearing up Augusta here in a few months. But I was like, that's one of the best comments I can get, because I do. It is a huge passion of mine. I love it. I could literally do it 24 hours a day and never get tired of it, because every single person you see has a different stroke. And every single person you see has been told different things and has different ways to adapt. And so I love it, and it's a huge benefit. And I really can't think of a better way to start out a race like an Ironman that's 3 sports than to feel confident and prepared and be able to swim strong for the rest of the day. So if you're interested at all in any of it, you can feel free to email me at c26coach@gmail.com, or for friends on Facebook, obviously you can message me there. But it's great stuff. I've got a lot of previews on my personal page and on Instagram, and you can get your own done, and then obviously access to our C26 swim locker to watch other videos and also tips from myself included. So anyway, that's enough of my personal swim promo. But
I'm going to just jump on the back of that a little bit, because as I've been in triathlon for 5 or 6 years, the number one thing I hear all the time is about how hard it is to improve your swim, and how much work I have to put. So I'm just it's not like.
Sorry, can I interrupt just super quick?
Yeah.
Ross Kaffenberger finishes sub 5 hours, 4:57:14.
Oh, nice,
my man!
Wow, what a job!
Off 6-day stomach virus. He basically hasn't worked out for like a week. Except for a few short things. And I gave him a conservative power plan on the bike, and his just came up with a 30-minute swim, a 2:31 bike split, and a 1:51 run in some really tough conditions too. At Williamsburg, and it's super hot there today. And so to see him go sub 5, that just gives me chills, man. It's just awesome. I love it more than anything. And so anyway, Ross, I know we'll talk again before you even hear this, but dude, way to kill it today.
Congrats, buddy. I look forward to hearing all about it, man.
For real.
You'll be up here for the camp.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. So anyway, sorry to interrupt, but
that's okay. But the thing about the swim is how it's certainly one of the hardest ones to improve your time in. But like these gains in time, speed that you're talking about, these dramatic gains. Think about how many times you've gone to the pool out there and have tried so hard to knock 5 seconds off your 100 time or whatever like that. But the point of this whole thing is, if you can correct your form and get that kind of dialed in and knock off 20 seconds off your 100 time right away, then you're on. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to be swimming with the right stroke and getting stronger with the right stroke. I mean, and that is to me the absolute key to all of this, is that you can cut off 15, 20 seconds or make a dramatic gain in the beginning, and that's the key. And I mean, a lot of people work on that for years and maybe see like 2 seconds or 5 seconds or something like that, and it's just because they're getting fitter. But if they can add an analysis of their stroke and fix little things that they're doing and then make a dramatic gain in a week, and then you've got that right form going into your fitness, and that's to me is the key.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, here's the thing, is that triathlon is a domino effect sport. The first domino affects the next domino, which affects the next domino. So if you can start with the right domino, which is the swim, and come out feeling really, really fresh and faster, not just faster, but fresher.
Right.
More prepared to be able to hold your position on the bike faster, and then get off feeling fresher. That's how you put it all together. It's not survive the swim, crush the bike, walk the run. I mean, you're in the wrong sport. You're warming up, you're time trialing, and you're cooling down. That's not the sport. It's triathlon. It's 3 sports. Mm-hmm. And so the purpose is to do as best as you can with swimming. And people, and I got to say that I get it. I've dealt with literally hundreds of people with their swim, and I totally get why it's frustrating and intimidating. And it's because there are so many things out there, and it's so intimidating, and there's so much technique, and it's so difficult to understand. It's like picking up a different language when you're 40 versus when you're 5. You pick it up early. And I'm super thankful that I picked it up at such a young age, because I don't know how I would be now, but it's and there's so much misinformation too. Like the athlete who I did last night, which was like the Erdy Vertical Forum Explained video. I was like, you need to keep your belly button towards the bottom and quit wiggling your hips so much, because you wiggle your hips and you're just moving east and west, and the game is north and south. So we want less turbulence and more force going forward. And she's like, well, I had this coach tell me one point I needed to really, really rotate my hips, which is like the worst advice you can give people in open water, is to rotate their hips, because most people like take it to the extreme and like sail all the way and like bring their hip and their shoulder out of the water, and it causes their body to sink. And she literally said, and I noticed my times getting slower when I did that, but they said, oh, well, it takes time. I'm like, stop it with it takes time stuff. You know what takes time? It takes 30 minutes to get your swim analysis done, and literally within a week you can take seconds or tens of seconds off your 100 pace, and it's not that hard. And my goal is to simplify it for people, not make it overcomplicated. It needs to be simplified, because swimming is not that technical. So we simplify it, we get you faster, and then the most awesome part is that most often when I get somebody back to me like, you know what, I would literally go back to the pool right now if it was still open. Because like now once it clicks and you see what you can work on, that's why most people don't want to swim, because they don't know what they're doing. And they hate that they're getting slower, and they feel slow, and they're just kind of lost. Like nobody wants to go to a party where they don't know anybody. It's in a strange place, strange part of town, and they don't know what they're going to get out of it. Versus you know what you're doing, you know who you're going to see, and you're pumped. And like that's how swimming should be. You should go to the pool, you should know you're going to get better, you should know what to do, because you have a video attached to it, you have technique, you have guidelines, you have somebody to talk to, and you're going to get faster. Rant over.
Man, you are fired up, bro.
I am fired up today, man. I got so pumped last night. I was doing like Saturday night. I mean, I sent it to you. I was so pumped last night with this. I figured out a new thing on my video, and I was like, I don't know. I was texting you at probably 8, and I was like, babe, do you care if I go upstairs and record real quick? I was too pumped. I was like, I know it's Saturday night and we've already had like a long day and it's almost bedtime, but just give me like 10 minutes because it's exciting to me and I love it because it's giving people confidence in the water is totally different than making them run faster and bike faster because it's not just a physical thing. It's a mental and emotional thing that makes them more confident about how they can approach the rest of their race. It gives them confidence, an infinite confidence in how much better they can actually be with their actual potential versus convincing themselves that they are a slow swimmer and they cannot do it and they just have to get faster in other areas. It's about becoming a complete athlete, and it's possible no matter who you are and what background you have. Email me, let me fix you. In the story.
It can literally change the way you feel about triathlon.
Oh God, yes. I mean without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. My evolution in working with you is the first one I was just a nervous wreck, and the second one, after couple months of coaching and whatever, it's just I had a different mindset going into the game. It was that swim, and it's a real fear and it's a real unknown, and like the worst thing in life is when you just don't understand something. That makes you confused and it throws the whole game off. So getting into the water with confidence for sure. Anyway, you've nailed it. You're fired up. I like it, and I'm actually kind of pumped about swimming right now. I was going to go running, but I think I'm going to hit the pool.
Do it, man.
I'd hit the lake, but it's like a crazy beautiful day.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go right now. It'd be nuts.
Zillion campers out there. But anyway, okay, so we had a great day yesterday at Muncie. A lot of people did really well, and there was one issue, though. You remember what that might be? We had a problem tracking anybody. Oh, God.
Jesus, man. Was it terrible?
So now we just want to talk a little bit about, and we've talked about this for years, and how easy it seemingly could be for Ironman to just up the game of excitement around spectating with better tracking.
Don't up the game, get in the game.
Yeah, get in. Well, that's what I'm saying is like, yeah, get in the game because it seems like it's getting worse. And it just seems like there's so many opportunities to make it more interesting for people watching and hanging around the event and, subsequently getting more people maybe engaged and interested in doing triathlon, So I don't know what's going on, but
I think I think that there's definitely obviously room to get better, and the reason I don't think they care is because the only people tracking are already triathletes or people who don't plan on doing one. Because people don't ever get convinced to do one or get affected emotionally or mentally by tracking online. They get it by going to an Ironman. And so I'm not sure if this is like a reverse psychology,
like backdoor strategy. You think?
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna keep this like shitty athlete tracking, and so you can just come to the event, and then you're gonna get swooped in, then you're gonna get sucked in the Ironman animal, and want to do a triathlon, and guess what? You're gonna sign up and do one, and then you're just gonna go track your friends later and get pissed again. But you know what? We already got you. So, dude, I don't know what it is.
That would be savvy.
Yeah, they're not that savvy. I will tell you, and from an unnamed source who reached out to me yesterday after I wrote on Ironman's wall, that according to this anonymous source, August there will be a new launching of athlete tracking from Ironman.
Oh.
Not confirmed, but and this anonymous source made that very clear, but this is a person well within the know. And I said, I'm not going to quote you on it, obviously, because I'll believe it when I see it, because they've been saying that for a long time.
Sure.
But, we'll believe it when we see it, man.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they have to be thinking about that. I don't know. It's just, the thing about, it's real easy to sit back and kind of like nitpick at Ironman. I just want to make it clear that, without them, the this wouldn't be happening. So I just love what they do and everything. It's just amazing to me that one little thing that seems like it would just add a whole nother excitement level to the game. I mean, before I even started running, there was the marathon here in Nashville. Someone I knew sent me this thing like, hey, you can track me on. I didn't even know what it was. And I signed up for it, and I tracked them on their marathon. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. And I think it pushed me in the direction a little bit. I don't know. And fans and families and, if they just love the idea, there's nothing more, and not nothing, but it's really kind of exciting to be waiting for that split. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying go live track, because I like the whole split thing. Like it's kind of that anticipation of when are they going to get there. I'd like to see more of them, maybe, consistently, but I'm sure it's expensive to do that. But geez, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think to this point they're not losing people from it. So, I mean, or at least they haven't found evidence of that. So,
yeah, but they need people, man. I mean, I don't like this idea of being in the hold on game. I mean, it's like, why not? You've got all these races that we had talked about earlier that aren't selling out anymore, and they're adding all these things. It's just like, I just think that makes the experience overall so much better when you have a solid tracking and without going. I mean, we have somewhere we were writing out different things you could do. As far as like different kind of little fun ways to track, and it would be detail. Like I don't know. There was, I guess it's something to do with like how they do live tracking a little bit, or maybe there's live tracking sections, or I don't know. It would just be. It seems like there'd be a million options to make that a lot cooler.
Yeah, they, I think well, we'll see in August. But yeah, as of right now, it sucks and really, ups the anxiety for pretty much anybody tracking or watching, unless you're there on the ground, which again, maybe that's their game. Go spectate, go watch, purchase stuff from the expo, get hooked, be there, and, talk about us athlete tracking when it actually starts to affect our bottom line, which at this point I guess they're thinking it doesn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, even when you do spectate, it's just a bummer, when it doesn't work. So it might even be worse in some ways. But hopefully August is the turnaround and they get it all squared away, because in October you and I will be doing Louisville.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we did that. We signed up for Louisville. And along with that comes a whole nother level of Crushing Iron podcast, C26 Triathlon excitement, because we have made the commitment to try every day and upload a video of our workouts or thoughts or whatever, something like that, and every week compile that along with other interviews with each other into a short 5-minute film to recap the week as we go towards Ironman Louisville. So there will be tons of video content coming out.
Yeah, a lot, and I'm committed to it too. So every single day, uploading it, and then let you work your magic.
Yeah, and we've already done it. We've been in 2 days, and we've got 2 days worth of videos posted. Today will be day number 3. And it's out there, and people are digging it, and we're going to keep moving. I don't know what this is going to transform into, but I think I can kind of see how it's going to get pretty interesting. I mean, you've already talked about, there's always going to be like training tips, and we're kind of, trying to figure out things as we go. You're making your own schedule. I'm just trying to get back into the game after a pretty weak layoff since Chattanooga. So it's been about
me 5 too.
6 weeks. We both had layoffs.
Yeah, and I told you, man, in my video yesterday, like I'm nervous. I'm legit nervous about where I am. Cycling, swimming. I mean, it's 100 days, and I've got some methods I'm going to apply to my training this time. Well, first and foremost, I have some really, really top-end goals for my training that are just as, if not more important than the actual training itself. And those are kind of, I think they're more lifestyle goals. One is as she posted earlier on the closed group, a picture of Wisconsin. She was ridiculously supportive of me last year doing Wisconsin, and gave me all the sleep I need. And we had a 7-week-old. It was rough on everybody, and then literally came to Ironman. We had a 7-week-old and she had Hayden all day long, and so she's always been super supportive of what I do, and I definitely wouldn't be where I am without her. But it's my goals are to get all my longest stuff done during the week, and then minimal impact to our family on the weekends. So I definitely reverse from most people in terms of they usually their long stuff on the weekends, but for me, working, from home, and this is my job, training and coaching, is that I have the flexibility to do it during the week. And so that's my goal, is to get as much as I can get done during the week, and then set myself up for success in the weekend to maximize family time and have no impact. So only have a workout impact on the weekends, have it very minimal. And that's my biggest goal. But yeah, I'm going to be trying some new training methods for me that I've kind of seen that have worked for me in the past, but not as a whole training cycle, to kind of see what kind of fruit it's going to bear. And so I won't be necessarily updating the exact details of that currently, but at the end of the day, once that's done, and again, I said some previous podcasts, there are bonus casts, that I'll be doing like a weekly, my Strava is open for viewing, to see what I'm doing. It's not going to have the details of my workout or specifics, but you can kind of see the volume, I guess, of what I'm doing on the day-to-day. And then at the end of it, once we get the result at Louisville, I'll share in a little more depth what my training cycle looked like, and some of the methods and the approach I took to having such a long layoff, swimming and cycling wise, and then a month off running with only 100 days to an Ironman. How that works out for me, and we'll see. But I've got every day already outlined from here till race day. I can obviously change that as it comes, but for where I am now, I actually ended up working backwards. I built what I am confident that I need to be able to hit numbers wise, and time wise, and training wise, and volume for my kind of last 3 or 4 weeks. But I'm in one of those kind of unique positions where it'll be much like Wisconsin last year, that I'm only going to have about a week taper. I'm not going to have built up enough fitness to where I deserve or my body needs some 2 or 3 week taper. So it'll be a shorter taper, 6 days. I plan on doing a 2-hour run and a hard 4-hour ride just the week before, and then basically just working my way backwards. So I can change that. I can fix these things and adjust here and there, up or down, based on what I can do, and so I've got that sketched out in Training Peaks, and rocking and rolling.
Sounds good to me, man.
Yeah, I hope so. You talked me into this.
That was pretty easy to talk you into it, man.
Yeah, I know it was.
But and I think that at the core of that, a lot of that is just that, yeah, okay, it's going to be a lot more fun. Because I was probably going to do it, and again, it's sort of like, last year for Wisconsin, I trained on an island, and I don't really mind that, but it helps to have somebody else engaged. So I'm excited really about the lifestyle of this training cycle too, in the way that I think we're going to be doing at least a couple things together each week, and that's going to help me just from a psychological standpoint, because I have some lofty goals as well, as I always do, and but this is I'm hoping that this is the time, because for me, I think so much of it is, and we've talked about this many times, but for me is sort of like I got to get more volume, you know. Not a ton more, but I just like, last year I started and I had that really good cycle going, but I started just a little bit too late going into Wisconsin. I had a really good pattern. I was riding well, I was running well, everything was going good, and I was just starting to kind of build it up, but I don't think I built it up quite enough, especially on the bike. So I wanted to ask you too, you know my situation. I have a little bit of base because I just did Chattanooga 5 weeks ago or whatever. It's not great. I rode yesterday. That felt strong. My bike is always, it's kind of like your swim. It's probably something I pick up a lot quicker than the other sports. But, just in a ballpark sort of way, do you have any kind of like, first month suggestion for me, as far as like, should I concentrate on just consistency? Should I concentrate on building up the time? Or
I think you and I are both in a really as good a position. I don't want to say place, but position with camp this week. Because dude, we're gonna be camp's jam packed. We got long stuff ahead of us, and for me too, like I can't think of a better week to like jumpstart my training and to be surrounded by like 15 other awesome athletes with a ton of open water swimming, a ton of cycling, and some running. Like, I'm gonna be in it. And so like here comes my volume, whether I like it or not. And so this is gonna be a good gauge for me, but I think it'll be good for you. It's like, where am I at? And then for you, the biggest thing is consistency. It's just doing it day to day, listening to your body, not trying to find out where you are too quick, which is what a lot of people do. Like, this is one of the things that I've got to be super careful about and then I did kind of a poor job with last year for Wisconsin. As I was running so well in training, I tried to find out how close I really was too quick, and that affected, I think, some of my day-to-day training in terms of cycling. Because I was doing like 2:15, 2:30, 2:45 runs at like sub 8 pace for training, and I think I pushed it just a little too much because I was so excited. But as I always say, like, be in a hurry, don't be in a rush. And so like I'm gonna have to take like my hurry slowly slogan like to heart, and just kind of take it as it comes. And although I have an outline built, just kind of go with it. And then for you, you do really well with listening to your body, but for you, it's listening to your body first, but also testing it no matter what. And I mean testing it by like at least getting your ass out the door.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes you may listen to it and read into it too much to where it says, oh, well, it's probably telling me to take a day off, where you could easily go for an easy swim with no additional stress, and it'll probably actually aid in your recovery versus sitting around. Because the nature of both of our jobs now is, they're doing training plans, or talking to athletes, or doing swim analysis, so they can be very sedentary. So for you, you're doing a lot of this stuff too, and documentaries and videos, so you're living that same kind of lifestyle with the sedentary. So is it better for me to just take a day off and sit, or is it better for me to go get moving in the pool, or go get an easy hour spin in? And because I think what that does is it keeps you engaged to what you have as the purpose of what you're supposed to be doing. And so I think days off are crucial to a point, but more often than not, the day off isn't what's needed. It's just easy activity, but keeping your mind engaged. A mentally free and emotionless, almost, workout that really does people good.
It makes sense, man. It's like, because really, how you feel getting out of bed. I suppose most people feel a little bit groggy, and they're like, last thing they want to do is get up and start moving and whatever. But that kind of like holds true too when you're sitting around at a desk for a long time. And the hardest step is, it really is the hardest thing a lot of times, is putting on the gear, putting on your shoes.
Yep.
And then, like you said, just that, I talk about this all going on a road, or if you're on the road for business or whatever, and you're trying to think about getting in your schedule, like your workout schedule, like verbatim, and then that load becomes nothing, that you do nothing because it seems too much in between to try and squeeze all that in. But the key for me is just to do something. Even if you've got a 8-mile run scheduled, even if you go out and run 2 miles, you know what I mean? It's something, and that's kind of like the thing. And not only that, if you go out with the idea to run 2 miles, I'm going to go do 2 miles, and we've talked about this a million times, that could easily be 5, because by the time you hit 2 miles, you're like, all right, I'm in now. You get that ball rolling. So yeah, that I agree with you. It's like, if I'm just sitting around and I got nothing to do, I might just start throwing my running shoes on and going for a couple mile run and just see what happens. Because I do. Yesterday, I haven't been riding at all, hardly. I've ridden, I think, 2 1-hour rides since Chattanooga. And yesterday I went out and I'm like, all right, let's just go out and ride for a couple hours and see how it goes. And towards the end, I started pushing it a little bit. And that's when I started feeling better. It's a weird thing about how, and you talk about it when you say, open up those legs a little bit. And I think you can get stuck in a cycle if you're out there riding easy and taking it easy, and then that slow speed or whatever starts to seem difficult. But if you push it up a notch, it can kind of actually wake you up. And,
absolutely.
Yep. I just, that happens to me a lot when you're out cycling. That first hour, you're just kind of cruising along, and you're like, man, I am tired, or I'm not feeling powerful. But then if you force that power a little bit, it just kind of opens the door to a whole nother level of workout. And by the end of 2-hour ride yesterday, I actually felt good. I felt better at the end, and probably could have kept going. I don't know if I should have or not, but I didn't. And I hit the above ground pool, and it was an unbelievable way to end.
Well, my longest ride of the year is 1 hour.
There you go.
But it'll be going up from there.
Yeah. So just that saddle time, that feed time, that pool time, that lake time. Just make it happen.
Just putting in time. Oh yeah. I'm pumped. I'm ready for it. And I'm not ready for it yet. I'm far from ready for it, but I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready for the consistency. I'm pumped to have it on my calendar. Pumped to be racing with you, and then a couple of my other athletes, Erica Drakowski and Sarah Frank. And then obviously we have a ton of other Crushing Iron forum members and fans that'll be racing. I'm pumped to meet them and race with them. And then we have a ton of them volunteering as well. So it seems like just going to be a really awesome time. And so I'm really looking forward to partying the night away on 4th Street Live with our C26 friends and family.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And then the thing about the videos that we're doing and we're posting now, and we should say that we're posting these videos in Patreon, and I realize that word is a little bit of kryptonite in some ways, but we're going to be putting a lot of work into creating a ton of video and just putting out, and there's going to be a lot of inside, our training world, but good information about training and stuff that, I think that just kind of will be pumping me up back and forth, and hopefully it resonates with other people as far as keeping them engaged in the process and seeing what goes on, as you train for Ironman behind the scenes, and the ups and the downs and the emotional honesty that we're going to be sharing. So we're going to be posting everything in Patreon, and it's whatever you can do is great to help us out, because it is a lot of work, and there's going to be good stuff in there, and the videos will be coming out to the public, for free as usual, but it's going to probably be a little bit of a delay time. So as we count down the days, we could be on day 10 and it will be released. The public will just be seeing like the beginning. So I don't know. It's out there. It's an option. We appreciate everybody that's supporting us, and it's really kind of inspiring more and more creativity and more content and things like that. So it's going to be well worth it.
Inspiring to me.
Yeah. It's been awesome. So, what else you got cooking today, man? You got a workout going?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna do a little easy, just an easy spin from my run yesterday because I'm getting ready for the big week, and then probably a little short consistency run, pushing Hayden in the stroller, and that's it, man. Rocking and rolling, keeping it consistent, doing the work.
Yeah, I like that consistency. That is exactly what needs to happen here. So congrats to everybody again on an awesome weekend.
Yeah, tons of people raced. I mean, even the ones we didn't mention. And there's a ton of people that listen to this podcast that race, and even gave us shout outs for our Muncie podcast about the race tips and the parking and everything. And so, I it's really awesome to hear those stories that, we're reaching, so many people, and they're doing so well. And it's just awesome. The whole experience has been, it's been really life-changing for me. It's just incredible, and I look forward to continuing on the journey in this next little mini chapter that is Louisville, and keeping people informed and talking through and answering questions and being of service to everyone that listens to the podcast.
Yeah, and if you're not in the closed Facebook group, please just send us a request and we'll let you in there. And there's a lot of really good people in there talking about constructive, positive stuff, and it's just a really good place to be and hang out. Away from some of the groups can get a little nasty and weird and stuff like that. We have a really solid group of people in there, inspiring others to do better, and I think that's starting to really show across the board.
Absolutely.
So follow us on Instagram. What's that again? C26_triathlon. On Instagram. We're on Twitter as Crushing Iron. We have a general Facebook group. And as always, questions, comments to crushingiron@gmail.com. We should have a new website coming out, crushingiron.com, in the next maybe week or so. A revised website that will really give you an inside look at what's going on and a better kind of summary of what we're doing. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. And I mentioned this in text message to a friend of mine, but I am T-minus 5 athletes left for the remainder of the year, and I'm closing the books for 2018. I am at max capacity. Wow. So if you're interested in anything at all, or even if you want information on 2018, shoot me an email, c26coach@gmail.com. But I am counting down as of today, July 9th, just a little over halfway through the year, and I'm cutting down to I have 5 athletes, and I'm booked.
And you're booked solid.
Booked solid. Happy to be booked solid. I love working with people, and I love training athletes, and I love helping them reach their potential, but you can only offer that kind of service to a minimum amount of people before you start to overextend. So any interest, email me, message me, and we'll see if we're a good fit, and if we are, the sky's the limit.
That sounds good, man. You're doing a great job. I think there's a lot of people happy with the enthusiasm you bring in and the support, and obviously great knowledge. So all right, that'll do. I think this is our 74th?
Fourth. Yeah, fourth. Yeah, because we did bonus cast, so fourth.
Yeah, so we're moving towards our 100th podcast, and now I think we're maybe leaning towards Chrissy Wellington.
Yeah, we'll probably let her interview us.
Well, no, yeah, it's not our option. But, I mean, we're leaning towards trying to get her. So if you guys have any inside scoop with her, or Mr. Rich Roll, he's the other target, I think it would be excellent for everyone involved.
Agree.
We promise to be nice, and we can help Chrissy sell her book. I mean, obviously that's...
For sure.
We've done a great job with that. I emailed a little bit with Brad Stolberg today. He said the book's going great, and he really appreciates the support everyone in the Crushing Iron group has given Peak Performance. If you haven't read that book, check into it. We recommend it highly. So that's that. Podcast 74 is in the books.
In the books.
Yeah, and now it's time to go work out. Even if you raced yesterday, get out there and walk around.
Get moving. Here we go.
Get moving. All right, buddy. Have a great day, man.
Thanks, dude. See you. Bye.